YouTube goes in here, and welcome back to the channel. If you're watching this video, it means that I've already deployed. Currently recording this a night prior to my deployment, and I think by now I should have dropped an additional 2 or 3 videos prior to this one. So if you haven't already, go check them out. Race the Monte Carlo along with a R1. Did the dyno video for sure. If you haven't seen that, go watch it. The car made over 14, and I am pretty happy with the setup. So really the point of this video is to just cover everything that we've been through with 2.0. 1.0 being obviously how we bought the car. Had a stock bottom in LS7 along with an F1R ProCharger on it, making 11-12 pounds of boost. I think they're down at that roughly 800 with about 12 degrees of timing. I was keeping it fairly well. The prior tuner kept it fairly conservative. I did the same, just so I would have a spare motor to keep in case I do end up having to throw it back in or throw it on another project. So we successfully completed that. I actually have the block sitting back there somewhere, completely stripped out, because initially the plan was to get the LS7 sleeved, forged everything, and probably run that around 1300. Spoke to Eighth Grade Racing, Ross Houston at Eighth Grade Racing, who said that a sleeved LS7 probably would be maxing out right around what my power goals were. So I figured that probably wasn't going to be the best, or the most ideal thing to do, is to run close to your motor's capability. So we ended up opting in for the LSX iron block. I rated for like 2500. So right now we maybe 60% of its capabilities, if that. I'm bad at math. And I mean, it's definitely been the journey. I know most of you guys who are watching this have been keeping up with the progress, keeping up with the hurdles and the issues that we've had. And right now, the biggest things that I'm fighting now is somehow I'm still snapping belts. It doesn't happen very often, but every once in a while, sometimes say I do miss a shift, it will snap the belt from just like over revving. And I can't remember the other scenarios, but it's not frequent. And so far that's the only pattern that I can pick up, is just the over revving from me missing a shift. And then obviously the traction issue. So wrapping up with 2.0. And right now the plan for the deployment is to actually order either Holley or Fuel Tech. I haven't made up my mind yet. It's probably going to be going with the Dominator or Terminator. Just obviously talk to Holley, communicate the power goals, communicate the setup, and see what they recommend as far as which model would work best for us, because we need to get this thing hooking. When I redid the suspension and went with the Vikings coils, front and rear, it kind of hooked second, and I thought I had it all figured out, but then I forgot that obviously fresh tires hook a lot better. So it's been about maybe 1,000 miles since then, because I do actually drive the car in the street quite a lot, and it stopped hooking, I'll say that. So race the Monte Carlo at 16 degrees, and the car made 1397 at 16 degrees. And on my kill map, I've actually been running, averaging between 20 and 21 degrees. And I feel like on the dyno, we only took it up to 18 degrees. And I think at 20, maybe 21 and that 20 and a half, I think it probably would have made mid to high 15s to the wheel. But obviously dyno numbers are just dyno numbers. None of that means nothing if you can't use it. But the plan, like I said, run the aftermarket PCM for it, and I've been considering throwing a automatic in it. Bully C5, he's definitely got my attention with his setup, and I mean, I've been just waiting to pull that trigger. But if I do, I'll probably be going with Bully C5's Turbo 400 model. that he does. And it's definitely working for his car. He has a turbo C5, and if I'm not mistaken, it's running either low 8s or he might be in the 7s. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'll definitely be hitting him up for that. So between the manual trans, the Holly helping us hook, and of course a turbo. Okay, I don't want to. I've been fighting to rush into it because when you snapped as much belts as I have, you either obviously rethink the setup, either go turbo, or maybe even just sell the car. But I've been trying to make this work. I just love the way the ProCharger feels, sounds, the response, and that's what I'm gonna miss about this belt-driven life is having that almost flat torque curve. Because with the turbo, it's like it's not making the power, and then it just makes all the power. But with the ProCharger setup, it's like making 800 pounds of torque at like 3,000 RPMs. But yeah, definitely not taking turbos off the table. I'm not sure if I want to do either a nasty big single setup or just go twins. Either way I do go, I don't see me tucking the turbos in the fenders. So I'm probably gonna have it up in up in the engine bay, mounted. Just I don't know. I'm not a flashy type of person, but I like shit like that. So that's probably what I'm gonna end up doing. And it'll most definitely be a hood exit as well. I don't see me doing a side exit. I might change my mind about that, but if I had it my way, it'd be a hood exit. So when that time comes, I'll start looking into. Because I don't start looking into somebody who I trust, and I actually know a guy already, but it'll be dependent on how busy he is to tackle welding me a custom kit. Giovanni, he's my boy. He's in the Navy as well, so it'd be him that would be at the top of my mind when it comes to welding. Even though welding was supposed to be one of the skills that I picked up a couple years ago. That was one of my goals during COVID, but between wrenching on my car, wrenching on other people's cars, getting pretty decent with tuning, it was just like, I felt like I was spreading myself thin, so I could never, make time to pick up another trade. But we'll see. I mean, now I got a baby on the way, so that's one within a balance, family. But, I definitely still want to pick up welding one day. All right. I feel like I'm all over the place, and I was trying to avoid doing that. But at least, I'm communicating what the goals for the car is. I know you guys are tired of me, blowing tires up. I'm tired of blowing tires up. I'm tired of, snapping belts and, everything that keeps the car from really performing. Because the platform is there. Well, the powertrain is there. It just needs a better driver, and, just a better everything. And obviously, that takes money, so. I was thinking maybe you guys get the channel to 100K subscribers and fuck it, I'll mount some turbos on it the next day. So when the money starts rolling in, I'm ready to do whatever, So y'all let me know what you want me to do, okay? So obviously keep watching the videos, keep sharing the videos, tell a friend. Let's keep the channel growing, and 100K, and I'll put a turbo on it. I guess 100K subs or 100K belts, whichever one comes first. If I break 100,000 belts, I'll throw a turbo on it. If I get 100,000 subscribers, I'll throw a turbo on it. So whichever one comes first. Hopefully it's the subscribers, because 100,000 belts is a lot of belts. Okay, I think with that money, I would have ran like 8 different turbo systems on this car. So hopefully that's not the case scenario. All right, but like I said, so this is the night prior to, and like I stated earlier, this is the night prior to my deployment, and I just want to just come in here, sit back and interact with the viewers. You know me, and you know that I do good with my comment section. I respond to literally every comment. It doesn't matter how dumb it is, how feedback full it is, or whatever, if that's a word. But yeah, so I couldn't find the time to really sit back and text a response to every comment so far. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to respond to the comments in this video. Okay, so I'm gonna pull it up here. All right, and let's go. So Mr. Mike 1183 asked, I have a question. If I wanted to get into a C5 or C6 platform and eventually run boost, say 900 horsepower, would I be okay with a base and later on build a secondary engine, or just go Z06? I would say if you plan on boosting, there's a conception in the Corvette community that if you want to go boost, just set for the LS3 because they're a lot stronger than the LS7. LS7 has thinner cylinder walls from being bored out of factory, you know, to get into a 7-cylinder. But he's more so asking about the C5, well, C5 or C6. I would say C6, only because the C5s are getting pretty old, and as these cars get older, you start to see a lot more gremlin, you know, with like the with the wiring and the body control module, PCM, EBCM, fuel system. You just never know. So if you can help it, if you have the budget for it, I would say stick to the newer platform. And if you plan on boosting, then sure, go for the base model LS3, preferably the 09 and up, or was it the 08? Whichever one came with the dry sump. Well, no, that'd be the Grand Sport actually. Never mind. Yeah, just stick to LS3. Whether you do go Grand Sport base model, get the one with the TR6060 transmission. Okay, those T56, they don't hold any power. I had one in my car, chewed right through it, and now I'm running the ZR16060. And it's holding so far. It was a stock unit but brand new, and it's holding, so no complaints there. All right. Let's see here. R3D 1911 said, I got my truck done at the dyno, and it made 745 raw horsepower and 815 torque on E, which is pretty good, I think. It's aluminum LM4 block, stock Gen 3 rods, new stock replacement pistons with gapped top and second rings. Stock polished crank, so pretty much all the bells and whistles. Yeah, I mean, 815 torque on E, that's not bad. Obviously, setup is making more torque than horsepower, which isn't pretty ideal, to get a heavy truck going. So that's what's up, man. Obviously take care of it. Don't beat on it too much. And all right, don't be doing no reckless stuff. That's definitely a lot of power. Okay. All right. Camaro Thins said, I tell people what the car makes, and they look at me like, nah, you lying. You mind that it's only making 800 wheel horsepower. I don't know. I more like knowing the graph is smooth and the tune-up for drivability is right than focusing on what numbers it makes. Yeah, man, for sure. I tell people that all the time. Like anybody, like a caveman can dial wide open throttle. It's really, if you're doing speed density or you're doing the math tuning, it's literally just plug and play, with the numbers. But it's definitely getting that drivability right. I didn't want to trade a shitty drivability for, high horsepower, because at the end of the day, I spend more time, cruising and stuff like that. So it definitely isn't worth it. So yeah, drivability over horsepower any day. Definitely agree with you on that. See here, got a couple guesses on what power the car made. Dwayne Parson 1116 said 1400. Boy, let's go. I know it's gonna make 1400 easy. Well, not the number we all hoped for, but you get that fuel pressure issue fixed, we are gonna see that number. I can't wait. Yeah, I'm pretty sure by the time this video drops, you have seen it, and hopefully you are impressed with it, because I definitely am. Especially when we got a lot more, a lot more to play with as far as timing and fueling. Jamal 6767 said, man, I can't wait to see this thing rip. Can you do a video on what all you do to store it until you get back, fuel, battery, etc.? A video, probably not. What I'm gonna do is pretty much I haven't even done it yet. I'm gonna do it tomorrow in the morning. So I'm gonna top it off on E85, only because I'm gonna have my girl starting it up every once in a while. But I am gonna drain the Met and then I'm gonna run water through the system. I'm going to unplug the nozzle, so that way when I run water through it, it's not going into the intake. Obviously, I'm gonna be flushing it into a bucket, because I think the method spike is gonna be a little bit more harsh on the system than the alcohol is, than the 85 is. And then after that, I mean, that'll be it. I could undo the battery terminal, but now it's like I have to trust her to know how to put it back on in order to, you know, obviously idle the car every once in a while. I'll probably put the triple charger on an extension cord, but but not plugging it in. And then every once in a while, just have her plug into the outlet on the wall. Have that, you know, reduce the battery or whatnot. But I mean, I'm not doing a whole lot. Same thing for the truck as well. I mean, that's on 93 pump gas, so I'm not draining anything. Just, you know, just have her start it up every once in a while. But I told her if it's like extremely cold, don't start it up, because most of the wear and tear on the motor comes from, you know, that you know, having to run it while it's like super cold, and you know, it's waiting to warm up, and you know, stuff like that. One Top ZX10 said, bruh, as much as I love the car, the smile on your face is priceless when you're with your significant other. Black love is beautiful. Back to the car. I'll be happy with whatever the final numbers are. I think it shows the possibility of a small block that's tuned right. Yeah, I mean, I guess, you know, 14 over 14 isn't a bad number. But I was definitely thinking like, okay, with that much boost on this big of a motor, if it didn't make 14, I would know for a fact that, okay, you know, this car just needs a better tuner, because obviously I don't know what I'm doing. But we were able to achieve that, so at least something that I'm kind of on the right track, luckily. All right, CL Patterson said 1112 wheel horsepower with only 10 degrees of timing is crazy as hell. I'd be very, very happy with that. It took me 21 degrees to make that kind of power with my F1A 94. It made that power running lean. It made that power at 14 AFR. So when I redid the pull on the dyno, I didn't bother dropping down to 10 degrees, but I was trying to do some math, and I think it probably would have made 1150, 1180, maybe even 1200. Okay, maybe not that high. Maybe 1150, 1180 had it been, you know, like had the fueling been where it needed to be. But I mean, we didn't melt the piston, we didn't break anything, so crashes avoided, and you know, got to live to tell another story. But yeah, CL Patterson, F1A 94. What motor is that? Because it doesn't really say what motor or car. It's probably a smaller motor, or maybe lower compression motor, I would assume. Ghost VY3NK said, hey brother, keep it up, man. I'm watching all the videos. Keep it up, brother. God bless you. Thanks, boss. You know I do it for you guys. I do it for y'all. SS Offshore 55111. I have to give a shout out to this bro's woman for being so supportive of all this madness. Two great peeps right here. Question for you, and sorry if I missed it in the video, but didn't you make more power than this before yet not have fuel problems? If so, what changed that you got lean? Again, apologies if I missed something, as I had two things going on at once while watching this. So, when I redid when I went with the LSX block, I still ran it with the 1200cc FIC injectors, and it was maxing it out by a lot. I think on one hit I had hit like 110% duty cycle. So I went with the 2150cc, and obviously duty cycles came down a lot. But then I started pulling down and playing with different combo pulleys as far as the lower. It cracked back up. I think at one point with the dual meth nozzle, I was still at like a 90, 93, 94 injected duty cycle. So that was when I knew that something was definitely off, and I had the tune at like a 50%. I had scaled the tune down to 50%, excuse me. and it didn't change. So I tried setting it down to 25%, which is pretty much what I left it on now. So right now I have my air spark pretty much on the tables that I need to mess with. I have it scaled down to 25% to compensate for the injector size, but that didn't really change my duty cycle. It changed like my, like the spark tables, the air tables, math, all that good stuff. But that's when I figured that something was definitely wrong and started pointing me towards a fuel pressure issue. But as stated on prior videos, my pressure gauge is in the engine compartment, and it wasn't a way for me to monitor it. I should have monitored it when I downloaded it at Real Street down in Florida, but I didn't. But I decided to do that this time on Josh Chauncey's dyno, along with him actually having the adapter to show it on the screen as well. And it was pretty obvious. So yes, we made 1192 down in Florida last year with a less than capable fuel system. Because if it was low, a couple weeks ago, it was definitely low pressure back then as well, and I was also racing it like that, right? Pretty sketchy, Don't do what I do, but it's a learning progress. It didn't run lean on the street, so what I'm thinking is because the injectors were maxing, the 2150cc injectors were maxing, they were opening up all the way to let more fuel out because there wasn't enough pressure. So when you have good pressure, the injectors don't have to open up as much, right? So it was compensating. The injectors were compensating for the lack of fuel pressure by opening up all the way and giving me the reading that they were maxing out. Now I know. Like these are things that I'm learning as I go, because obviously I don't do this stuff for a living, and it's been just running on my own trial and error. And luckily we haven't broke anything expensive, right? I'm gonna mess this one up. Plexi Dust 5101. McGrady, I've been really impressed with your skills in analytical. What I'm saying is that I think it's time you take up welding. I was just talking about this. So you can build chassis and take this on the track. Be smart, my friend. Look to see who is paying where and go for the class. The NHRA, etc. are opening up classes. Opening up classes to all this. Go for it. I'm messing this up. Go for it. Again, the street is closing in on all of us, and you, and I want to take the money home on track, okay? And I want to see you take the money home on track, okay? There's a little typo in there. I know you can do it. You are a very talented piece, main event. That is still a badass name for your car with you dominating with it. Stay safe and love the content, Plexidust. Plexidust, I appreciate that, boss. Yeah, I definitely want to take up welding, man. Like I said, spreading myself thin. But as the dust starts to settle for me, hopefully that's a skill that I can pick up within the next couple of years, because that's still on my bucket list. Because I feel like I could do a lot more. Like imagine me having my own turbo kit, So we'll see. You need a Y fitting. You need a Y feeding your rails from the main supply lines. Shouldn't be a T fitting because one of your rails will hug the fuel. Run a Y to both rails, then regulate it to the back side. Should stop your fuel pressure drop. So I don't have a return running off of both fuel rails. So on the driver's side rail, it's capped off, and then on the passenger side, it's that's where the return line is going back to the driver's side tank. So I mean, I would have to think about this one. I guess I kind of see what you're saying. And by the way, this is Nick King 256. Nick King 256. Yeah, I kind of see what you're saying. I have an in-cabin pressure gauge now, and it's showing some pretty good pressure. It was averaging 83, 85 on the street and on the dyno. So I think we should be good, but I mean, this is definitely something that I can look into later down the line if that does become an issue. Thank you for the feedback though, for sure. At my 3B says, why are you running FIT injectors? You spent so much time and money on this car, then then get some cheap injectors. Okay, a little bit of typo there. Get some IDs, then see how much cleaner your lugs are and how much more control you have. This is the first time that I've actually seen somebody refer to FICs as cheap, fuel injector clinics. I didn't think they were cheap. I mean, they cost a decent penny. I don't know. I paid almost $2,000 for my setup. What are the IDs running? I think they're about the same thing. Yeah, I have to look this one up. I mean, they're working just fine. Made over 14. So I don't know. Maybe we can run some IDs during the 3.0 version. We'll see. All right, Denver Dinosaur, my boy. Denver Dinosaur 6168 said, "Keep up the good work, man. Sorry about last week, missing those calls. Just recovering from surgery. Was not gonna be a fun talk, but I'll hit you up this week." Yeah, I had blown this guy up because I know he had an additional 12-tag 1800 sitting around, but I ended up just ordering one off of Summit Racing anyway because it was gonna come in faster, and I was trying to get the car back up and running for the race up north. I can't say where, but you guys know where. All right. Oofy 9932 said, "Bro, a little mini McGrady running around is gonna be crazy. That kid is gonna be a menace, dude, for sure. Like, look who her father is. She's gonna be bad." And I tell my girl that all the time. Like, she is gonna be a menace to society. Alright. Skate and Review said, "Out of your league," and this is referring to, I'm guessing the one with the Lambo. "Out of your league, need that Harley so you can run it back with those stock motor twin turbo Mustangs from Texas." Ooh, that's a jab. Okay, well, yeah, definitely need a Harley so I can have some traction. Texas, I tried to turn the power all the way down. I think I was running like almost single degrees timing, and it was still blowing tires off. But that was just because it did rain, and after that it cooled down a lot. So Texas was actually cold this year, and that didn't help one bit. 0106 Twin Turbo, congrats on the little one. Your life is about to change. I have a daughter. Trying my best to get her into cars. LOL. She already likes to go for rides. So far, so good. Stay safe on your deployment. Appreciate that, bro. I'm pretty sure my daughter's gonna be into whatever I'm into. I already have the TV set up right here, so whenever I'm working on my car, I'm gonna bring her playpen in here, and then she could watch the TV while I, wrench away, and that'll be how we bone until she's old enough to start holding the flashlight and stuff. But yeah, I definitely can't wait. And I will be safe on deployment for sure. For sure. Travis Clarkin 4277 said, "I'm waiting on that 1473 wheel horsepower graph." Okay, I try to meet that. We came close. I think it's what, six horsepower off. Pretty close. Josh Tonsky was like, "We should add one more degree." And I was just like, nah, if the car's running right now and I'm about to deploy, I don't want to come home to a broken car or, break it before I leave. So, but the next morning I was like, I should have just added one more degree. Like, it probably made 15. Call Out King said, "Bro, you should have gone twin turbo." Yeah, that's still the plan. That's still the plan. One of these days, right? One of these days. Only takes a little bit more money. All right, let me not dwell too much on the comments. I do appreciate you guys' support. I know it's been a long, hectic journey. And for me, it's not even about just like being able to say, "Oh, I built it myself, I tuned it myself." I'm doing this because, I actually love doing this stuff. I could do it for free, if I didn't have bills to pay. But I do it because I love it, and I get the satisfaction out of it. And just knowing that I did have a huge part as to why it looks this way, runs this way, performs this way as well. It gives me that satisfaction. And like I said, I'm not a professional. I don't do this stuff out of a shop or for a living. I didn't go to school for it. So, with that being said, it's still a learning experience for me. I still make mistakes, here and there. But the big part has been, learning from those mistakes, trying not to repeat them. But I've been working on cars before the Navy, and I knew that going into the Navy, I wanted a job that would be hands-on. So I went in and designated, and I ended up striking a rate that I wanted to begin with, because that's the only rate that I put in for. I was like, yeah, I'm coming in for this one job and this one job only. I got a job and I've excelled at it pretty well. But now I am squadron, so I went from working on the engines themselves, which I still do in a sense, to now working on the jet themselves. So it's a different dynamics, but still the same job. And it's been pretty rewarding. But obviously, I can't do it forever. So I spend every day thinking like, what am I gonna do next, right? I'm trying to commission as an officer. So, but I'm also working my YouTube. And it's like whichever one does better first, I will dive into. So right now I've just been playing like that, walking that middle line of, put in effort into my YouTube, into my career in the Navy as well. And just like working both sides of the fields to see which one, starts to bring in more, revenue. Because at the end of the day, like, cost of living it's getting worse, and right now we're just doing what we can. I'm just happy that I'm able to, bring a daughter into this world where I haven't to do any drastic decisions, such as, selling the car, or anything crazy like that. So the spending is going to slow down. Obviously, I have to be a little bit more responsible. I am going to miss the days where, I shut a transmission and I have a new one in like a week and a half, So now it's going to take a little bit more strategic planning, a little bit more budgeting, just to keep things rolling forward here in the garage. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm going to end it here. For those of you who've been with us since day one, I appreciate the love, appreciate the support. If you haven't already, if you're just joining us and you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, okay? I would say that, that you've missed a lot, but honestly, we're just getting started, so you're just in time. So hit that subscribe button, all right? Like, share, comments, because I see all my comments. And this is probably where I say I'll see you in the next video, but it's gonna be a minute. It's gonna be a minute because, like I said, by now I'm deployed, and if I can help it, I might drop videos of me, just like in like other countries and stuff like that. But that's obviously if the Wi-Fi or service allows it. If I have any service, then I'm not gonna be doing that. So there's a chance that it might be, 6 to 8 months, before you guys see me again. But I would say, just keep doing what you guys are doing. I'm proud of you guys. And yeah, thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. This is gonna be the season finale to 2.0. Hopefully 3.0, we come out swinging like a bat out of hell with a highly fuel tech and a few more upgrades to get this car hooking. All right. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sticking through this whole long video, okay? And I will be seeing y'all on the next upload. Have a good night. I need to find somebody to come hit this stop button. Well, I guess maybe someday I'll have somebody actually, behind the camera and can work the magics for me. Okay, all right. Have a good day. I'll see y'all. Bye.
And I'm getting ready for deployment. All right. Sad to be leaving, but gotta do what we gotta do. Hopefully China and Russia don't act up. And I'll be back shortly. All right, so I'm gonna be taking a pause on the car stuff for about 6 to 8 months. I'm gonna get back. My daughter's gonna be born, and then I'm probably gonna chill out for a little bit before I roll back into the car stuff. All right, for those of you who've been with us from the jump, like always, appreciate